Keep her to be doing it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Nerd Initiative. We are talking The Boys series finale. This is our post show. Spoilers ahead. We are going to keep it as PG-13 as we possibly can for this amazing epic finale. As you know, Lauren and myself have been covering with our post shows all throughout the season, a crazy final season, if you will. So we're going to talk our thoughts. First things first, nerdinitiative.com is where you can find all of our articles, all of Lauren's reviews for The Boys. If you want to find out what she's been covering as far as, you know, The Boys on our YouTube playlist, which is called Saturdays for the Boys. It's our comic book breakdowns, our post shows. Scan the QR code up at the top corner there. That'll take you right there. Hit subscribe. Find us on social media. I am Matt, the editor-in-chief. Michael is our founder, beautiful, handsome man over here. And Lauren is our Jensen Ackles, The Boys extraordinaire expert. So, you know, let's go with
Stalker,
Lauren.
Expert. It's all the same.
Let's start with you, Lauren. I always like to do, you know, spoiler free first to kind of before we dive into things. So what are your thoughts, spoiler free, on, you know, what we kind of witnessed with the finale?
Well, so I gave it a 9 out of 10. And the reason, which is obviously a great rating, but I did feel like there were little things that were left open. And if they pay off and spin-offs and whatnot, I'm fine with that. But there were more boxes kind of checked that I would have liked. And a certain scene, I feel like it would have been, I get why they did it, but I almost felt like it was not what I expected, but I guess that's good. But there was a certain part, and I'll get more into that in a minute. But overall, I did enjoy it. But there were a couple things that just felt unfinished. But for the most part, I felt like I got closure.
The hottest people on the hottest channel of YouTube. Yes, that's right. That is right. We are missing our fourth hottest member, unfortunately, because like they haven't watched.
Not a ranking wise.
It's okay. She'll catch up.
Person, not.
You know, it's because Sean's not here. But, you know, Michael, what are your spoiler-free thoughts on what we got to witness with The Boys?
I was a fan of the finale. I think it really, like Lauren said, there's a few things left open. I think a few storylines that, whether it's for something else that's coming or other things that were kind of left unfinished. But I think it was I would give it like a 9.5. I think it was a very satisfying finale. The final season was a little, you know, it's a little disjointed. I think it could have had a little more, but overall happy with it. And the finale, very happy with it. I
feel like overall this season was one of the funniest. And maybe it's because I need to go back and rewatch everything. But I felt like the last episode had a couple funny parts, but it wasn't a funny episode. But I feel like a lot of the episodes this season, maybe it was because Soldier Boy with his one-liners and whatnot. But like, I was cracking up in like every episode leading up to the finale.
Serpent Shark, was it shit because, you know, there was some oil spilled in the waters of the ocean? I hope that's not the case. But I kind of am with you guys.
Was it shit because someone ate shit, or
that's where my mind went.
I had to watch it twice. So the first time I watched it, I woke up in the middle of the night and I watched it and I was like, this isn't really like doing it for me for some reason. But then I was like, all right, maybe I'm just being a grouchy old man. So I went ahead, I watched it again, and there's a lot I liked. I think the final season itself was kind of a big commercial for Vought Rising, unfortunately.
So maybe I'm just watching it through Jensen colored glasses that I was okay with that.
Think you are, because it's not that it just feels like you could have just not had him in this at all and nothing would have mattered.
I don't think he would have gotten the V1.
Well, the V1 ultimately at the end of the day, like I guess it mattered, but it also kind of didn't at the same time.
But I feel like that sped up there, like we have to stop him before he becomes immortal, and then he became immortal. So it was like, okay, we have to do something. I don't think they would have pushed to do what they did with Kamiko if he hadn't gotten the V1. And I don't think he would have gotten it if it hadn't been for Soldier Boy.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I get it. You have to figure out how to wrap it up. And it's always hard wrapping up something like this. So there was moments where I was like, yeah, but I do think ultimately I'm satisfied with what happened with the characters at the end of this show. I really am, you know, for the most part. You know, there's just a
What
lot
are you
going
trying
on.
to say? Are you trying to keep something
I got
PG?
tongue tied, you know, I just know
Okay.
there's a lot going on. And I thought ultimately, let's dive into the spoilers and kind of talk about it. Let's break it down. There's some deaths that happened, some deaths that didn't quite make it this episode. Let's talk about Ashley first, because Ashley's kind of
Okay.
been that all around character. She became president. She ultimately got powers, which are hilarious. And then, you know, she turned into like Voldemort. And at the end, I thought the funniest thing was, you know,
Voldemort. That was good.
she did nothing wrong, and then she got impeached that same day. So how do you guys feel Ashley's storyline wrapped up? Because not everybody gets redeemed, and she didn't get redeemed, but at the same time, she made the right choice when it mattered, I guess.
I think it was a fitting Ashley end because this wasn't the first time she did something altruistic. She deleted the footage of Maeve, so Homelander thought that she was dead, so that Maeve could go off and live a normal life and you know, be with her girlfriend and everything. And if Homelander had found out she did that, he probably would have taken her out. But she's always, you know, herself number one, and she's always very naive. I don't know want to say naive, but she's always just focused on like, I'm going to be the first female CEO of Vought, and I'm going to be the first female president. I'm going to be, you know, she was always like, I'm going to be a CEO, and you know, all this like, I mean, they're making fun of the girl, you know, calling it like you're a
She's
CEO.
girl boss.
You're not a girl. Yeah, you're not a girl boss. You're a mother effing boss. But they were making fun of that we do that in our society. That it's a CEO. Oh, it's the MCU. Like they were obviously the boys makes fun of everybody, so making fun of that.
Right.
And she played into that and was like, yeah, I'm going to be the best, you know, mother effing CEO there is. But she had a hard time living with herself at times. And I think that helped her, even if it was just a little bit. I think it helped her to be able to live with herself. And then at the end of the day, she's like, oh, this all worked out. I'm president now.
She's the president. She did nothing wrong. And it was just funny that quick. She went down there, you know, she had her whole relationship there with Father, which was, you know, I love that when they're having their drinks, you know, and this is the best arranged marriage I've ever had or whatever. It was that
they did have chemistry. Well, when really Firecracker walked in, was it like episode 2 or something? Like, it smells like a wet in a Waffle House.
It was just like,
some phenomenal one-liners this season. Phenomenal.
I will say they did a great job on the one-liners. And then, you know, she was escaping and she decided to point them in the direction. Michael, do you largely agree? How do you feel about Ashley's ending?
I do. I think if you look at her as far as a plot device or a character device, I think where she ranks as far as the characters, you know, there's the tiers, right? You got the Homelander, Deep, Starlight. Like she's, you know, like a B or C level tier. I think she functioned the way she should function. She was funny. She really stepped up this season. And I think the way she finished and closed out the show, I think, like exactly like Lauren said, she can go home and she can sleep at night. Her conscience literally grew in the back of her head, you know, which can read minds and all that stuff like that.
Bottom tier, yeah, maybe.
I mean, I think she's.
I mean, she was there as a driving factor.
Let's not say bottom tier. She's a supporting character, and she functioned as a movement device. And I think she really was. I think fans, if they are disappointed, they're probably disappointed in the main characters. I think a lot of the supporting ones, like I said, you know, same thing with Father. I think he was.
Well, yeah, actually, good segue because I do want to talk about him. So continue,
Ashley, though, real quick with Ashley, though, I feel like she only survived as long as she did because she was never deemed a threat to Homelander. He was never concerned about her, so she survived.
She had no powers. As far as he was concerned, she had no powers.
Well, he knew she had powers. He's like, read his mind, Ashley.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. They did. But
everyone did. They made it public.
With, you know,
Father, right? At one season, they were like, "Oh, the thing that used to be Ashley," or something. Didn't they say that at the beginning of one season or something?
I think this season, because this was the season she ended up getting the powers. She had a wig and everything before because she was bald.
And she ripped her hair out, which was a nod to Jessica Bradley in the comics. She's the scapegoat for Vought in the comics, and she ends up like ripping her hair out.
But yeah, and so her arranged marriage. Did you guys ever? Really interesting. She thought that she was close to getting Father to kind of flip against Homelander before things kind of went sideways. Did you get that vibe at all from him at any point?
No, he was a believer. He was
kinda
in
had
it
to
to
be.
win it, man. He was full on. And I think we saw that when he met with Annie and she's like, "What's going on? You've always been like religious." He's like, "Well, God never answered my prayers. Homelander is listening." I was like, "Wow, that's
Good point.
dark."
I think
Yeah.
there were moments. I think you could see when they had like the focus group, the the crazy deathly focus group. I think there's moments, and I think where he wants to go a different direction, but I think it's too far gone. And he's also, I got the feeling also he loved the power trip too.
Oh yeah.
And so I think much more than Ashley did. I think Ashley enjoyed the power trip of being president, but I think he was willing to lay down with sharks, and in the end he got,
he was the right hand man, actually. Yeah. And I actually agree with this comment here. I think Oh Father was practicing self-preservation.
Yeah.
I do think to a degree that was, because like Mike, you said, there were times when he kind of seemed to not fully believe what he was saying,
especially
in the last
end.
episode.
Early on, I felt like he was like all in, balls to the wall in. But at the very end, like when he was like, "Okay, this is how we have to work the system. These are billionaires." And Homelander's like, I think that was the first time he was really, really like, "Oh, he's not going to play by any rules."
And that's what I loved. Like right here, we had this amazing scene right here where we kind of get, the billionaire. I've been to space, those kind of nods and stuff like
that. An astronaut. I took him to space.
Absolutely incredible.
I think it was God, was it Kripke today that said like it's, almost basically confirmed without confirming that that's Elon Musk.
Elon Musk commented on it.
Well, he called it pathetic on the finale, but I think someone had commented also was like, yeah, Elon Musk got thrown into space in about 2 seconds. I think they were actually critiquing the finale, and they're like Homelander threw Elon Musk into space in 2 seconds, but he couldn't make it back.
People were mad that he never went to space and did X, Y, and Z. I'm like,
but he had Ryan and Butcher up against him, so like I get that, and he did escape in season 3 when it was Huey and Butcher holding him down. So
Soldier Boy, yeah, he did.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't going to let him go this time.
And right, I thought it's a quick little nod. That's all you needed, and then ultimately, the big gift that Ashley kind of gave him here was kind of unexpected. I didn't realize that's how, because people also took issue with Annie taking the Deep, because they roll in there and the Deep is standing there and he's like, "Oh, this is a test. I have to," because I loved
he's
how
crying.
Homelander basically told him like, "You are just Kevin." He hit him with his first
which is
name.
like an insult with using his government name.
Yeah,
like when your spouse uses your name and not something nice.
That
was fantastic.
In
the Daveed Diggs thing, I know Michael thought the same thing I did, because you did a reel on it. I immediately went to Black Bolt, and I even said aloud, like, "What mouth?"
Yeah. Well, because he goes to like blast Huey because he's going to use his powers, and then that's when MM shows up with the ball gag, and then because she says like titanium, all that stuff, and she gets him and he blows his head. I was like, dang. I didn't see him going out that way.
When he's like, "What the heck?" And I'm thinking, what is he looking at? Like, are these like plans for something? Like, what is it?
As soon as he had that weird look on his face,
I didn't.
Oh, I know where this one's going, because they introduced it. I was like, this one, I know where it's going right here.
That was, only the boys can properly pull that off.
Yeah, and there's been more than one like homage, right? I think we've had like a bunch too. So like I think that's why me and Lauren went there immediately. The second I saw it, I thought of Black Bolt immediately, and it's funny too, because obviously we talk about that as one of the stupidest like MCU scenes because of Mr. Fantastic. The smartest man in the world is like, he can kill you with one whisper, and then she's like, "Okay, she's like, cool. I know what I have to do to knock him out."
She's like one whisper of his mouth or something, and she goes, "What mouth?"
Yeah. Smartest man in the world's not so smart.
Yeah, every character did kind of end up. So let's talk about the big one too. A lot of people are kind of upset Annie took the Deep to the ocean where his power not, but at the same time,
I was an odd choice to bring him to the beach when she doesn't know what's going on. It worked in her favor.
She meant to take him to the beach, or like that's just where they happened to crash?
I'm going to say that's where they happened to crash, because if she did that intentionally, that was not smart. It's like Namor. The second he gets in water, he's re-energized. Like that wouldn't make sense. I would assume the Deep would have similar.
We're notorious Annie haters here between Lauren and I. So, she probably was just that dumb to do that because she was pretty useless.
I didn't
hate the final season period.
Episode. From season 3 and 4 and a lot of this season, I was not a fan of her. But this episode, I actually felt like it was more old school Annie.
I'll give you that. And I thought actually she did pretty well in the fight too. And apparently, the way the deep goes out, so he gets thrown in the ocean, and then the sharks and everybody comes up to him.
Justice for Ambrosia.
Octopus that kills him is actually, I think, the
her
related
cousin?
to the octopus.
Ambrosia.
Yeah, Ambrosia. Apparently it's a related, and it's canon because Kripke confirmed that. So she knocked him into the ocean, which
that's a good point too. Yeah, why I didn't even think about that, because I was thinking about it from a storytelling perspective. Like, I saw that Chase Crawford a couple weeks ago, someone asked him, like, how do you want to die? He goes, I want to drown. And so it felt like they were trying to fulfill that, like, irony that he, like, dies in the water. But I didn't even think about the fact that Annie, why would she knock him into the water?
She knocked him in the water. She's doing the beach. Yeah, it wasn't very smart, unless she knew, but I don't think they realized the whole oil stuff, because it was never mentioned that they did. It just happened to work out that
and she looked surprised.
Yeah, and she was just like, oh, damn. All right. Back to the show now, I guess. While we get to the room, and we're getting,
the room is in the Oval Office.
Yeah, we're back to the Oval Office now, and that's where the big fight's going down. So we got Kimiko and we got Butcher, and I love this, the little, as Homelander's giving his speech, right? And he kind of stops, and he has that moment of, it doesn't matter what I say. I'm, either join me or I'll kill every single one of you. I was like, it's about time he said some stuff like that. I've been waiting for this.
Well, in the comic, he did, spoilers for the comic too here. Like, in the comic, he does kill MM and Frenchie and Kimiko, and Love Sausage is on their side too. And he kills, Love Sausage isn't just a joke to torture MM in the comic, and he kills him too. And he kills the Legend in the comic as well. Yeah. And all of these the Legend was much more helpful in the comic than he is in the show. Although, shout out to Paul Reiser. I love Paul Reiser. Right. And the fact that they kept him alive, like, I have this delusion in my head that, like, Jensen's going to come back as Soldier Boy today. I mean, we got Robert Singer should wake him up. How fun would that be?
I was going to say,
Robert Singer wake him up to lead the team to get the soups.
Oh, we're going to get there. Oh, you're jumping ahead. Oh, yeah, we're going to get there, because I had some thoughts about that too.
I want Legend and Soldier Boy, like, reminiscing on their sexual escapades of, like, the 50s, and not the 50s. Paul Reiser's not that old, but you know what I mean? Like, they both had similar senses of humor with their stories and their name dropping.
Right. They did. But yeah, so I liked, and then, Butcher walks in, and I love the whole William Butcher. I was thinking you weren't going to hold up your end of the deal.
William.
Yeah, I love that between the two of them, and we get the scorched earth and that whole talk, and they start to fight.
Blood and bone.
Yeah, and they start to fight. Kimiko kind of gets knocked out, so you're getting really Butcher and him fighting for the first time, and I enjoyed that. And then you get Kimiko having some Hulk-like issues where she can't get her powers working. You get that beautiful moment with Frenchie that's like, hey, it's not your rage. Like,
I love
that.
That
to me was an Elsa moment. It was don't use anger, use love.
Oh,
that was an X-Men First Class moment for me with Fassbender and McAvoy, where he's like, he gets that beautiful moment where I think it was like probably like Seder dinner with Fassbender's family and Magneto's Eric's family.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Again, like they pull in such a great way. They pull all these little, and it could be what Lauren was saying too. Like they pull, like they're really great at pulling all these like homages to comics and comic films. And
they really do that so well. And you don't even realize it at first. You're like, oh, I think I've seen this before, but they do it so seamlessly and they make sense in terms of the fight. And I also love too, like, Ryan gets into the fold. Ryan comes out of nowhere right through the window and he's attacking. So now we got Ryan taking him down and, Butcher, Ryan, and then Kimiko too. Like the three of them going at it. Primarily Ryan and Butcher were taking it to him. I enjoyed that fight. What'd you guys think about the fight?
The fight was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I thought there were some good moments. Yeah.
I mean, and cutting off the tentacles and everything. And I thought they did a phenomenal job. And like you see like Homelander trying to go like really fast and whatnot. But it also brought me back to one of my favorite scenes in the 5 seasons was the finale of season 3, where like Butcher and Homelander are constantly like this. And in season 3, they both have a common interest, and that's Ryan. And when Soldier Boy attacks Ryan, I loved the moment between the two of them where like, we're going to put everything aside because we both look at this child like our son. And they fought together in that moment, and I genuinely love that. But of course, Homelander, after he called him a little, well,
he even shows up and tries to get Ryan to join him again.
Are we keeping this? Yeah, but when he called him, he's like, "Oh, you little whatever," and it was clear, like Ryan's not on Homelander's side at all. But then he even tells Butcher later, he's like, I didn't choose you. I just had to stop my dad.
And I thought that was great. But I do have a question. So Kimiko's powers work. Okay. She blasts as Ryan and Butcher holding Homelander down.
Sage was certainly
Blast goes off. Oh, actually, we didn't even talk about Sage. Let me roll that back real quick. You reminded me when Sage, the episode starts with Frenchie
freaking phenomenal. I
getting
love
buried, and Sage comes up and she starts talking all that crap, and that's when she gets blasted, and it was all just to see if it worked. And then Sage,
which she clearly wanted. She wouldn't have used herself as a guinea pig if she didn't want it.
And she was trying to quote Othello. How do you feel about Sage's ending?
Well, I mean, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but I was okay with it.
Michael,
she's in a better place
I was
now.
trying to figure that out for a second, and then I was like, okay.
No, she's in a better place. She went to Orlando.
She went to Orlando to wands up. She's, like she went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I thought that was hilarious. She goes, "No, you guys are gonna die."
I'm those shirts at Universal now. Wands up. That would be amazing.
I'm not mad she didn't die. I do think that her character
she didn't need to die.
Ultimately, she didn't need to die. But I do appreciate that now she's dumb and there's no real redeeming her. But also like respect.
I don't know that she's dumb. I think she's just normal now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's dumb in the sense of she's normal, like dumb. Like
we're dumb. Got you.
Right? But that was her thing. And I'm okay with that ending for her because I don't think everybody does need to die to get a satisfying ending in this universe. And I thought hers was fine.
And she was selfish. No, she just wasn't a good guy. You're good.
No. She reminds me, there was a character in an episode of House, I think it was, if you guys want to watch that show, that was like, same thing, like uber smart and miserable, and I think self-medicating. And I think that ended up being the reason that, like, if you've seen the show House, it's like a medical episodic show where each one is like this really hard to solve, ailment or whatever. Long story short, this person was like so smart that they were miserable and depressed and like just smarter than, and that's why they say a lot of comedians are who are really brilliant are depressed. We've lost a lot because they see the world for what it is. I think that's what I got out of her. And I think she's so much happier now that like that is gone. And that's why she was
ignorance.
Poke her eyes out so she could like eat her chalupas and do whatever.
Also, like, thank God we don't have to watch anybody lobotomize himself anymore. Cause that, as somebody who has gone through plenty of eye surgeries, like, thank God I ain't gonna watch that anymore, man. God.
That was rough.
I can't imagine how lonely you are when everyone else doesn't understand what you're seeing, even though she effed up the whole Soldier Boy thing. But when no one else can like be on your level, it must be the most lonely thing. Like you can't relate to anyone.
Well, and also I think that I personally think that they chose her to be a woman and they chose her to be a Black woman intentionally, because how many people are going to underestimate her, even though they know she's the smartest person in the world. And they used to even be like, oh, you're the smartest woman. And she'd be like, no, smartest person. And she's also, if you didn't watch Gen V, like she's also heartbroken. She thought she had things figured out. She thought she had a partner that they were going to like take over everything together. And he completely sold her out for his own ego. Yeah. And again, she was underestimated. And her biggest flaw with being intelligent was, morals aside, was that she was just a selfish ass. And like, she didn't really care about anybody but herself. And that was really it. And she underestimated love because after everything that happened, she didn't. Yes. And it's also an open door.
It is.
Sorry, I don't know why I keep going back to Frozen.
Every rose has its thorn as well. Anything else you want to quote? No, yeah. So you're 1,000% right. But going back to my big question was, I thought, so Ryan was a natural born soup. I didn't think he had any V in his body. So when he lost his powers getting zapped, like, shouldn't that have not happened to Ryan, or am I missing something?
Well, I'm not something of a scientist myself, but my theory is that he was natural born. So the V must have somehow attached to the chromosomes or the DNA or whatever from Homelander. And the chest blast just burns out any V. So I'm assuming that it could burn out any mutated V or inherited V or whatever, because it's still a foreign subject.
Hear me out. We
kind
of got like a potential spinoff potentially down the road. We'll talk about here soon. What if his power is just temporarily gone?
Like Magneto? Maybe
what if he just temporarily has it gone and it comes back? Like that kind of thing. I don't know. What if it's just, you just shortage? I don't know. Like I thought I'm fine if he doesn't have powers. I just thought that since he was born with powers naturally, that he wouldn't have lost his powers. But then again, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy in a chair.
Well, there's a lot of confusing points in it too, because I mean, I was worried about Kamiko, or I honestly thought Soldier Boy was going to be the key, because they kept playing this whole redemption arc with Soldier Boy. We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But I was worried once he had the V1, because he has V1 and Next Generation being a system. I honestly thought we were going to see something more complicated where Kamiko or whoever would burn out the V1 out of the system and the original would be left in there, and they would have to fight and figure out. But it just ended up being like kind of clean, and
it worked on Bomb Site though.
It did, yeah.
Well, but he doesn't have the next. Remember,
so he had he just had V1, is what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. I think the fact that Homelander had multiple V's in his. Multiple V's in
a lot of V's, man.
Multiple V's in a system. I just didn't know if it was going to come.
He didn't have enough V's. That was why he was angry.
Someone had come up with the theory that it was going to make him sick because it was interacting with each other, and maybe he would that would have been interesting to go down and see if he keeps evolving and he becomes a cancer because he just it's overloaded.
Oh, because he's the only one that we know of that had the Next Generation V and V1. Oh,
that wasn't even a thing
that we know of. Yeah.
Instead, we get this fantastic sequence where it's burned out and they're getting up and Homelander goes to throw a punch, which leads to an even better sequence.
Okay. Really quick. The punch. What does that remind you of?
Batman v Superman.
Yes. I immediately thought of that.
I went to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Do you know when the
BVS?
The Ducky Lex goes and visits Tom Welling, and he had given up his powers,
That's
and then he
still
punches Lex Luthor, and he's like, "Yeah, I have no powers, but I'm still stronger than you."
I'm still going with.
This is an amazing shot.
It is. I like this shot because now for the first time, because Homelander's always kind of, I'm better than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm just toying with you, and now for the first time, we're seeing Butcher really be like, "Oh no," and then we get this. After he beats the light, he said, this is for Frenchie. He beats his face in, and that's when Homelander, the camera's still rolling, mind you. All these people are watching. And he's like, I'll S your D, I'll eat you want me to eat your, all
that came out of nowhere.
It's weird, offer. That was one of the things I was trying to say earlier. That seemed odd that's where he would go. Is that what he wanted?
I was going to ask, how do you feel about his move to patheticness? And he went to some real crazy places with it, but he was at Desperate. So maybe Desperate Times, Desperate. I don't know.
I thought the cowardice was dead on. I mean, I know people are complaining about it. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy has never had a day in his life where he hasn't been he's a bully. That they always say I always grew up and you always say your parents always tell you not that I'm recommending this, but hit a bully in the face or in the mouth and they will leave you alone. And that's what I felt with Homelander. I did think it was a stretch with this suck your D and I'll eat.
That was one thing. It was that he was going to eat his crap, and I was like,
what?
He was just trying to be the demeaning
things he was making other people do. But that was
fantasies, so we don't king shame.
But that's not. He could have made any one of them do that to him in the 7 office or any.
I don't know.
And I don't even want to think about that video.
But yeah,
I was why did he? I felt like he went there a little too fast. I feel like it should have been a little bit more drawn out or offer something else. The 7 stuff was good. I feel like maybe they should have lingered. You can have the 7. What do you want? I'll give. It's when a rich person's about to get murdered. I'll transfer all the money.
I'll give you any money. All that. Yeah,
that was a great offer. I liked that because that's what he did after he killed Stillwell. He had his shapeshifter pretend to be her.
That was, and the whole Beck, and then ultimately though, he puts the crowbar through his head and he pops his head
just like in the
can of Coke, and
there's noir.
It was kind of a fitting end for Homeland. I was actually fine with the way he went out because you see him at the world is watching him. He's just pathetic at the end, just puny, pathetic nothingness.
Because all he is V.
Exactly.
The second time he jumps up and tries to fly.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Also,
when your kid tries to show you something and they're like, "Mom, look."
But that's got to be what he looks like
this.
Before special effects.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He definitely was. Yeah. Special effects. That's what he actually looks like. That was a real shot of him trying to fly. Then they add in everything.
But I feel like for him, it'd be if all of a sudden one of us was a paraplegic, he's basically lost what he's been able to do his entire life.
Yeah.
Well, it was still fitting. You see him as his it was perfect. The perfect fitting. He was unceremonious. He goes out, everything goes down, and that's when Ryan, Butcher's like, "Hey man, we'll go and we'll get out." And he goes, "I didn't choose you, man. You're a crappy person too." And poor Butcher,
He's not
not Homelander.
wrong.
He's not wrong.
No.
And then he goes up to get Terror, and poor Terror passed away in his sleep. I'm actually so much happier that that's the path they went, because I thought for sure they were going to have Homelander kill Terror, and I'm so glad they didn't go there.
Because in the comic, Jack from Jupiter, I knew Terror wasn't going to make it. One, Terror's killed in the comics, but he's killed by Jack from Jupiter. And two, the Bentley, the dog, passed away in real life recently.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that was kind of like a fitting, he passed in his sleep. But at that point, though, Butcher really just kind of has nothing else to live for. His, kind of son, his only connection to Becca, doesn't want him. Terror, the one thing that has shown him love unconditionally, is now gone. Becca's gone.
And that was Becca's dog, too.
I don't really blame him for kind of doing where he gets the virus and he heads to Vought, which Stan Edgar has taken control of again.
Bad, even if you're depressed. Genocide is bad.
Yes. I'm not condoning genocide here, but I'm just saying he kind of has a point, because he does, when Huey ultimately knows what's going on, he shows up, he says, "All right, how long until another Homelander comes and we're back to where we are?" He's not Stan Edgar's back in power. He's not
should we kill every human because a bunch of us are bad?
I agree. It brings up a really good point between that. It's like, okay, so you preemptively kill everybody.
You guys mentioned earlier a spinoff, one that I could potentially see like Kimiko be like a bad soup hunter, where she goes.
I was thinking that.
And Bobby Singer's leading the hunters.
Yeah, like
what if Kimiko's working with the Gen V cast and they're hunting down? They work with Singer, like, because Huey turns it down. He says, "No, I'm good." So when Bob Singer shows up, first of all, loved that. But what if Kimiko takes with the Gen V folks who come back from Canada or whatever, because they really were wasted?
Make them all powerless.
I mean, she could. Or what if she starts a business just to depower superheroes?
I was thinking that too, like Rogue in X3. You had people lined up wanting to get the vaccine.
Yeah. And so my question too is, all the radiation that was coming off, like, is that going to have any effect? Huey was still able to have a baby, I guess.
They're all going to get cancer when they're like 40. So
yeah. But let's talk about the Butcher and Huey. How do you feel? Because then the comics, the ending is vastly different.
No, it's almost identical.
The ending is the same. Yeah. So more or less, Butcher goes insane and tries to kill all of them. Whereas in this one, it's more of like a, "Hey man, like, I don't want to hit you. You remind me of my brother." Like,
he didn't kill the boys, but Butcher
no, that's what I'm saying. Butcher does
kill every soup. Yes. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, Butcher doesn't go insane and try to kill the boys. It's more of like Huey kind of appealed to him in this moment where they fight and he's beating Huey down and Huey has the gun and ultimately, shoots and kind of didn't mean to. So how do you feel it all went down between this final confrontation where we get, this beautiful scene right here?
I loved it. I mean, I just reread all the comics, so it was like, to a T, they're ending together, because he never wanted to kill Huey. He picked Huey so Huey would stop him from doing this one day. And I love that they also, when Huey walks into the 7 boardroom, Butcher's staring at the Empire State Building, which is where this went down in the comics. So I thought that was a perfect, beautiful little nod. Yeah. And then you see Lenny's face, and he does mention Lenny in the comic as well. Like his canary in the cave did his job. Because also it's like, if that thing had gone off, he would have lost Annie. Like
that, because it was in the sprinkler system.
Yeah,
and so it would have a few days
worldwide eventually. Yeah.
And so, Michael, how do you feel about the way it all went down between them?
I thought it was perfect. I don't think it could have been more emotional and a better move and better like ending as far as between those two characters. I think that was the flashback to, your spitting of Lenny. Like, I just think everything was perfect. I actually did love, my heart still sank, but I loved the Terror moment as well, because I even made a video about it today. Like, I definitely, there's a reason why animals are such a catalyst for people, for good or better or worse. We have John Wick going on a killing rampage because his dog died, and it's not because always just the dog, it's what they're tied to. I think John Wick was really close to Terror, where it's like, it's a vestige of an old life tied to a loved one. and you just lost that.
He was
for
tied to
no
Becca.
reason.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
his
both
last
of
tie
them
to
was
Becca.
tied
Yeah,
to their
John
dead
Wick,
wife.
that was his tie to
Yeah.
his wife. Yeah, and John Wick only had that dog like 2 days too, which is when you
Yeah.
think about it.
But it was a
absolute
gift
pain.
from his dead wife.
Exactly. You know, I fully agree, Blake. By the way,
And they
But
just
I
they're just
do.
innocent little. It's like a baby. They're innocent creatures that have so
Tara's
much
been through
love.
everything with these guys too. Like, think of everything he's been through, and I really loved his POV.
Yeah.
Episode 5 when we got
Aw.
him, and eating the chocolate and humping the Homelander doll. But he's gone on how many adventures? It's 5 seasons has Tara
Yeah.
gone on. Plus, he's really been there, and that was really his last link to humanity to Becca. And I thought, not for Jack Quaid, he did it first of all an excellent Butcher impression, but also just the emotionality between these two characters, who at the end of the day they started this together because of Robin, and it was a really beautiful, well acted scene between both of them. And Carl Urban, man, acted his butt off in this episode, man.
Yeah, but yeah, he
I
couldn't
didn't realize till the end. Someone mentioned that it ends on the street, and basically that's where it began.
So yes,
Oh, I didn't even
that's
think
right in
of
front of the video store. So they have the
Yeah.
video store, and then Annie's pregnant with a kid named Robin, and people were like, naming a baby after your ex is wild. But
It's not his ex.
First of all, this only ever happened because Robin got blown up by A-Train, and it's not his ex. She died.
Right.
so,
And Annie was always respectful of that and understanding.
And it also brought them together and brought them on this journey to take down Homelander, because what if they never got together,
Yeah.
and
Plus-
how great Homelander would have gotten.
Also, Annie's doing some hero stuff, and now she's got a sidekick named Robin.
So yes, and she's in Crocs nonetheless. All right, Can we talk-
that was the
I was
worst
thinking the
part.
whole time when they showed the Crocs, I was like, see, Lauren, Crocs do rock. All right, there's a purpose for even superheroes wear Crocs. I'm just a little worried for her baby, because
I do
of
wonder,
Supergirl.
like
the
you
same
can't even
thing.
go on a
Annie,
roller
girl,
coaster when
you-
you're pregnant. I hope
You're
that
out here
baby got
fighting
some
with this
pee in it.
baby, like, girl, should you be
Like,
doing?
yeah,
I wonder
I'm
what
all for,
power Robin's gonna get.
Girl
know?
power and power to the pregnant people, but yeah, you don't go on a roller coaster. It was like worse than going on Thunder Mountain.
I do wonder. So we obviously get Singer calling. He's the president again. And hey, come on. Crocs don't belong. You know what? Your mom's banned from the show. Crocs, yes, they do. Yes, they do, everybody. You're just haters.
Crocs
Anyways,
don't belong anywhere.
maybe she put the Lego Crocs on because
Except in the movie Idiocracy.
But, he
In the
basically offers
documentary,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
God, no kidding, right? He offers him to take over the division, hunting down the Supes who are on the run. I feel like that's going to be a pile. They're going to do something with that down the road. I got to feel like the Gen V kids are not done. There's no way that's how they
It
go
was
out.
such a weird, and I liked what Blake said earlier. I know he said it a couple minutes ago about Marie, like, because it was all hyped up, like, oh, Marie's going to play. And we thought, because she was so powerful.
Things went down in Gen V season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one who took out Godolkin. Like, so I'm like,
yeah. And she's the only other one that survived the Odessa project, like Homelander.
Yeah. So I thought there was going to be some kind of I mean, and I guess, like, look, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I do, because I was like anxious about it before Endgame came out. A few months before, everyone was trying to figure out how it's going to end, and there was a rumor, and maybe there was an alternate, like, whatever, that it was going to be Captain Marvel who would come in with her powers and not just cripple Thanos, but also like maybe snap or whatever. And I was like, and everyone kept saying, like, she hasn't earned it, like. And so it was nice to see Iron Man. I mean, no spoiler for 6 years, everyone out there. But it's nice to see Iron Man do the snap. I think that's what it felt like here. Like, maybe there was plans to do something with Marie, and then
I think there was.
Like,
this isn't the time.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like they were putting her on the bench just to save her for Gen V season 3. That was my assumption. It was that Annie was going through some stuff and projecting her own stuff on Marie. And it was like, we don't want you guys to think we forgot about them. Obviously, there was a whole thing at the end where Annie and A-Train are like, oh, you're part of the resistance now. But I think that they just didn't do it because they were assuming they were going to get a season. And Kripke's come out and said, look, everybody's mad at me. I didn't cancel Gen V. I wanted Gen V to happen.
Okay.
I do think
I'm glad we got to see Emma, though.
Yeah.
I loved Emma. I thought it was funny when they only had one Jordan. Clearly, they only wanted to pay for one of them to come back.
That's so sad.
Isn't Pedro Pascal cast in, like, The Boys Mexico, or am I just assuming he's cast in everything for now?
You thinking Narcos Mexico?
No, like, they're doing The Boys Mexico. I thought
Cassian's in the Narco Mexico.
That's
I don't know.
You're right. Sorry.
He's in the regular Narco. I have no idea anything about the boys.
I don't
Mexico
know,
one.
but I don't think I'm telling you, I think Marie and them are going to work, and we're going to get more with
I mean,
them.
they should be able to get a pardon now. They don't have to hide anymore. I
That's true.
assume
They can come
Bobby
back,
Singer
yeah.
gave them all pardons. That's why they're all able to go
I think so,
live how
too.
they want to live.
Maybe they team up with Kamiko, and it's like, again, like
That's what I'm
Sea
thinking. I'm
Runners.
thinking something like that. Although she went to France, she had a dog. That was beautiful.
Wait a second. Wait, the girls. We have the boys. They have the girls. And it's all women.
That'd be fun.
Right?
Listen, I want to see more Emma. I love Emma, first of all. So.
But like, that would be kind of an interesting thing, like the girls.
I do hope we get kind of some more, because they're talking about spinoffs. We got Vought Rising, we got the Mexico one. I'm sure they're going to try to pitch that to bring the, Kripke's got this universe, and they see people are wanting it.
I don't want to get rid of Gen V though.
I am curious there, but who knows? Who knows?
Like
Kamiko gets to go to France. She gets to, try that
Madeleine
delicious
cookies.
dessert. And then, we got Ryan kind of getting adopted by MM, who renews his vows. Like, I thought that was I'm so glad he survived. Of all, if anybody was going to survive, I wanted it to be MM, because I really feel like he went on this crazy character arc through the entire series and really grew as a character, and he deserved a happy ending.
I feel like he started out good and then got jaded and then ended good again. Like this season, he had been jaded for a lot of it until he was trying to give Annie hope back. And we finally got the MM backstory, which obviously is very different from the comic. But what I loved about that too is Butcher told MM, I want you to take Ryan. I want you to raise Ryan. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not taking this kid. And I don't even remember if that was this season or last season or when it was, but I remember
either,
Butcher saying that to him, and Butcher got his dying. Butcher basically got everything he wanted.
He did, actually.
And I thought that I love, though, that you see like MM raising the kids together. But I wish they all had been at that wedding. Like Annie and Huey should have been there in the back.
Yeah, I think that they should have.
Janine should have get to meet Starlight and meet Brave Maeve now and see what her dad had been doing.
Well, they tried to bring back
years.
Maeve, but Kripke said like they tried to bring her back. She's not acting anymore, and the scheduling just didn't work out. So they actually did try.
For what though? Like she couldn't just go to MM's wedding. Like she's depowered. How is she not gonna be able to help?
Maybe.
Well, no, the actress itself. Like, wait, so who?
The actress, I forget her name, but she's
Dominique
retired from
something.
acting. Yeah. She's no longer acting.
Which is crazy because if you Google her, it says Irish retired actress, which is it's crazy. So she was just like, we just saw her a couple of years ago.
Well,
but
she made bank off the show probably, and now it's just like, hey, I'm living my dreams. Like I got
She's fantastic. She's a great actress.
Isn't she in House of Cards? I think she was married to not Bullseye. Who was the guy in the? I don't know. Maybe it was Bullseye. I don't know.
Carl Urban. Oh, Judge, we need a Dredd too. First of all, I've been pounding that one since 2012 when that came out. But what now? All right. Biggest question here. Soldier Boy. The dude was frozen again. He didn't really get much of an ending. I know he's going back.
I think that was the worst character ending, in my opinion. I was so
what happens?
Because it's not an ending.
Do they thaw him out, and does Stan Edgar kind of like because they had that one face-to-face and that was kind of it. And then he gets frozen. Now Stan's in charge again and he's frozen. So like, is that just it? That can't, I think I'm in denial.
They also gotta wonder where he is.
Well, I think Matt was on to something. You had said, we were talking earlier, and Matt said, what did you say? You said, I think, what if he wakes up and it starts the next show? I think actually he's going to wake up and it's going to flash back to Vought, right? That's how Vought Rising is going to start. Or he's going to wake up and be like,
was asked if it takes place only in the 50s or is it time jump? And he said no comment. So
that's what I think because I commented under Hops Geek News, I think. And yeah, I would love it if but they've also said that Vought Rising is going to be multiple seasons. So I don't know how they would bring that in, but maybe we go back and forth. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind. How would you feel if he did get thawed out and he ends up working for the government, hunting down the Supes as well?
I'd be as long as they supply him coke and women, I think he's okay with that.
But I'm curious because he wanted the 7, didn't he? Like that's been his whole life. So if he gets thawed out again, but
he would rather go to Bogota and hang out. He didn't care that much.
I don't know. Like I refuse to believe.
He was hard to understand at the end. Like I thought. I still don't know who Quinn was. Do we know who Quinn was? Was an ex-lover?
Well, I think we're going to learn that in Vought Rising.
Was it
sure.
like? Yeah,
I think it's his brother for sure.
He really it was his brother because because he goes, you always thought I was a spoiled like rich kid. You don't think that about your sibling because then you would be one too, unless they're half siblings. And maybe
That could be
daddy,
true.
maybe he was back then having a bastard child would be a terrible thing. Maybe the dad didn't claim him, but maybe the DNA worked out like, oh, if you've survived this, let's bring it in. So if they are brothers, they have to be half brothers.
I just don't know why he was. There was just a lot of like, it's weird. It was like there was a lot of great acting, and you were wondering. I think you wanted more like to pull from the strings, and so like again, like why was he so upset when he killed Quinn? Like if he was so, I know Quinn like increases your anger and rage and all that stuff like that, but he just was like, all right, just get it over with. Like afterwards, like he wanted Homelander to kill him, and just like the thing about love with Clara, and like I just felt like he was coming into having a full like emotional arc, and there was going to be. I pictured him almost like this is gonna be weird. I pictured at the ending before I knew he wasn't gonna be in the finale, like almost like a Care Bear stare, like him and Kimiko. Like that's what I thought. I thought they would have to team up. Like I thought Kimiko's wouldn't work. Like it would work a little bit.
Ooh,
but it wasn't. And like,
well, what if Kimiko depowered him at the end and he just kind of saunters off and lives his life out to die?
And slowly dies. I think he was sad with Quinn because imagine if you woke up 40 years in the future and pretty much everybody you knew was dead, and like then you find somebody that was there from the beginning that is one of the only few people that actually knows you and knows you as Ben, and then you end up killing them. And it's just another piece of your past gone.
True. I mean, obviously we're going to get all these answers because the other thing with, Stormfront Clara was she was married to Vought. Like,
yeah.
And he was with, what's her name too? So like.
Oh, what she was, I think what ended up happening was she ended up choosing Frederick Vought because it made more political sense that he was higher up and whatnot. I'm going to guess that she had an affair with Soldier Boy would be my best guess. And then he was in love, wanted her to leave. She never left. So then years later, because keep in mind too, he was dating Crimson Countess in the 80s. This is the 50s. So I think he cared for Crimson Countess, but I think that his true love was Clara.
You know who's playing? Are we going to get a Vought or are we...
they have him in there. There has to be Vought because it starts the whole thing. So we're getting Vought. I think maybe it was announced. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but if anybody out there has any idea, but there's no way we don't get an actual Vought for this. No brainer.
I'm looking to see the cast if there's any like usual sucks, but I mean the only one I could see is Mark Pellegrino. He's just an unnamed one episode, and he's kind of like I want to see someone with some weight as Vought, right?
Right, same.
I mean, he plays a phenomenal Lucifer, but I think he would be too old to be Vought at that point.
Fine, give me Stanley Tucci.
I think he's too old to be Vought. I think you need somebody younger.
You do. You probably do, yeah.
Is there a vote? I wonder if there'll be a Vogelbaum in it. Because Jonah Vogelbaum was like the one who like did all the experiments in Germany.
I'm sure you were going to see all those characters. There's no way we don't, because this is literally how they got V1 and everything to begin with. So you can't do the story without having them ultimately.
But they've switched so many things as far as the comics versus the show. But like Jonah, obviously we saw him, his head, I think he was one of the first head exploding people. But it's like I don't know how old he was. And also V in the comics makes you age slower. So it was like also Mallory was like 100 years old or something and looked like he was like 65, 70 because they took V in the comics. So it's like I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people have like a little bit of V in their systems. I don't know.
I also love the fact that V is such and I didn't realize this. Well, no, I did. I don't want to sound like a moron, but like I didn't realize this fully until now. When you said the age slower, I just pictured obviously Steve at the end of Endgame. Obviously he's like 110 years old, but looks like he's like 80 and he's still like moving around.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
But it's just so funny the parallels to how much they just like mess. Like and thinking of Vought Rising, I was thinking of like a deranged version of like First Avenger, which is what we're gonna see. And so it's just really funny, like how they're
even the music.
Yeah. The parallels.
I love the Soldier Boy music. It's like dun 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 dun. It's so good.
If you guys do want more, comic book breakdowns and our post shows and things like that, scan the QR code if you are watching this on live right now. Will take you to our boys playlist. But rewatchability factor for you guys, is the series, how rewatchable is the series for you guys?
As rewatchable as Supernatural, 100%. This show is fantastic to rewatch. You catch more things, you catch more jokes. And it's like there's always so much going on that sometimes you miss it or you forget it. Such a great rewatch show.
Michael, how about you?
Same. I would definitely rewatch. I actually think I want to rewatch it because I forgot a lot from the first seasons. I'm gonna dread the final season a little bit because I just feel like
I do feel like the final season just kind of drug in the mud as well.
I thought it was funny, man.
I just thought it was too much of
the final season was really solid. I just think there was some things left undone, and some it's making more sense. Like the Marie stuff, they thought there was going to be a Gen V season 3, so I get that now. I think there was just some things that kind of like left open for me, but again, I think the show's great, and I could rewatch it. Start rewatching it tomorrow.
Congrats, Lauren. Your top is super cute, by the way.
Oh, thank
Shout
you.
out to you in your
Shout out to you.
Lauren's got killer fashion. I would rewatch. I wonder how
Soldier Boy.
He, just in case Jensen decides to scroll on YouTube and he's watching this. I do wonder if this would play better if you kind of binge versus waiting 3 years in between seasons. So if I go back and watch it, in succession, like from season 1 through season 5 with all that stuff, if it has a better rewatchability in that case, because sometimes that's how it works for some of the shows, because it took forever in between seasons. So it might be one of those things. So I would watch it again just to kind of see how that pairs up. Maybe Lauren, our new tradition is starting episode 1 of The Boys every time I go to your house instead of episode 1 of Supernatural on DVD. We'll have to start. But as we kind of wrap up here, any final thoughts? Mike, we'll start with you.
Really, I think great show. I think some people should take notes from it. And by people, I mean like other studios and whatnot. Just be creative, be different. Obviously there's source material that comes from this, but I think Kripke, I think Fleet, I think all the guys that put this together did a fantastic job. It was irreverent, and I think it's great. I'm a big fan, and I really, really liked the finale. I liked how it all wrapped up, and I'm just very, very satisfied with it. And the Homelander ending was what we were all waiting to see for years.
Lauren, how do you feel about the finale, or any final thoughts in general, I guess I should say?
I will say if we weren't getting Vought Rising and another potential spinoff, I would have more issues with it, especially with Soldier Boy. That did not feel closed, but I'm okay with it because I still have hope that will get wrapped up. Overall, I did very much so like it. I know some people were like, well, it would have been cool to see Homelander be human and have to deal with that. But the fact of the matter is it could have been like Kamiko's situation where he finds more V and all of a sudden he's Homelander
the only
again.
way to deal with him is kill him.
He absolutely had to be taken out. I could see how that would be fun, seeing him struggle to be human. But they did that. Well, go ahead. What?
No. Keep finish. You're fine. No. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to hear what you want to say.
So the one thing that I wanted to see that I'm disappointed I didn't get to see was we know he's wearing a muscle suit. I wanted to see him scrawny and like.
That would have been hilarious.
Stumbling around being like, and I know there's nothing you can do, right? Like maybe if he's offering to suck his dick, maybe he takes his.
Butcher should have made him strip naked at that point. You're right, to really humiliate him.
Or had his outfit more ripped.
Yeah. That's what I was. Sorry, that was the only thing. When you said
that,
I
was real freaky. Mike's like, let me see them scrawny legs.
Well, there's a photo of him where he's like, yeah. I mean, it's really funny. It would have been funny to see him as like
photos
little,
like Anthony Starr. In shorts and his top of the suit. Like, have you seen the behind the scenes where he's in like just the top half of the suit? Yeah.
Well, and he asked like Jensen, because Jensen, the lady's like, oh, you're going to bring me back muscles. And he's like, why don't you just tell him to build in this suit? But he did a nude scene. But also they have said that with Homelander's strength and powers, he doesn't need muscle. It's not the muscle.
That's
strong.
The point. Yeah.
Nothing can muscle is basically gained by like lifting heavy,
tearing, and
but he has all of the power. He's not going to build muscle because I'm fine with him being scrawny like that. It's hilarious, but I would have actually been fine if we humiliated him a little bit more. Who cares?
He humiliated himself more than anything. I did love Butcher's face with the like, what?
Butcher was just like, what is wrong with you, man? Butcher should have really kind of been like, hey, let's see how far we can take this thing, just to really humiliate him.
Just kind of whip it out and see what he does.
Oh my God. I wonder if there's outtakes. There's gotta be outtakes.
I love that when the credits rolled, they had like all the pictures and behind the scenes stuff. That was cute. I love when they do that, man. It hits emotionally.
Like in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I want to see, I know he's not like RDJ or something, but I want to see an outtake of Anthony Starr being like, just going down the list, be like, I'll buy you a Mickey Mouse ice cream, or I'll do this, like all these random things. And he's like just going through and like, and maybe even like Karl Urban's like cracking, being like, I can't, but I don't know if he's that kind of an actor, but that would be really funny if he just like,
I saw a really good
all these
picture.
things.
By the way, when they were talking at the funeral and they're like, I'm sure Butcher is somewhere down in hell. And then I saw the below picture is Karl Urban in Mortal Kombat 2 as Johnny Cage, because he does fight in, I guess, the underworld, because they go down there to fight Scorpion and all that stuff. So he's technically in hell. That was a funny thing. So if you've seen the movie, you kind of understand. But anyways, neither here nor there. Yeah, this kind of wraps up Our Boys. We will be back for some Bot Rising, which Lauren's excited for. We'll be covering that show, and let us know your thoughts, man. Make sure to hit the QR code if you want more boys action from Lauren. She killed it with the coverage, breaking down the comics from Dynamite, which
I had to drink a lot of milkshakes.
Yeah, we forgot to pour some milk out. I was trying to buy breast milk on the Facebook Marketplace, but I just kind of got reported anyways. So I was like, no, it's for my live stream. I was
gonna have their breast milk for their infants again. Since
I saw somebody breastfeeding at the grocery store, and I was like, hey, are you gonna finish that? I need it for my live stream.
Just a little bit.
Cops got called on me, and it didn't go well. So unfortunately, no pouring in the milk out. But we can all pretend, right? So everybody, thanks for hanging out with
regular milk too, you pervert.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I couldn't come through with the bathtub and full of milk.
We really counted on us.
Imagine how many hours of pumping that would take. Oh my god.
In a bathtub. Oh my god. I don't even.
Those poor women.
Jesus. Well, at least the women didn't have to do it, unless they did. I don't know. Well,
how else would you have gotten it?
I'm saying in real life, you goon.
Oh no, not weasel. In real life.
Now I'm gonna sit here do the math. How much math? Somebody probably did the math to figure out how long that would have taken, because that's
boys go math.
10 years, man. For one woman, like 10 years.
Oh, for one woman, more. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. But you're not just how many women would take to fill? Now we're just getting weird. Subscribe to our After Dark show to find out how many breastfeeding sessions it takes to fill up Homelander's tub of breast milk. And in the meantime, we will talk to you guys soon. Go to our website, www.nerdinitiative.com. Check out our content, our comic book stuff there. We've got interview with Stephanie Williams, Eisner nominated Stephanie Williams, that Sean and Megan did. Absolutely incredible. Highly recommend checking that out. Every Wednesday is comic book day. And then we got some stuff coming up for Spider-Man. We always have something rolling. We've got the Mandalorian Grogu review out.
Oh, Derek's already got a review out.
Yeah. We're going to be seeing it. So more content there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you guys next time. And don't take any weird V.
Nerds.